The following program, The Lightning Strike, is sponsored by Mohammed Fahim, and to the extent applicable, their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of Heartland Signal, LLC, or its management.
Get ready to be jolted out of the ordinary and into a world where conversations are charged with intensity and facts. The Lightning Strike Talk Radio with your host, Mohammed Fahim, broadcasting live from the heart of the city on Chicago's Progressive Talk Radio, WCPT 820 AM. Welcome to a radio show that charges through the airwaves with an electricity like no other. Here's your host, Mohammed Fahim.
They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat.
Good morning, folks. Mohammed Fahim here for the... What are we doing today? Eating the cats and the dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. The Lightning Strike coming to you from Chicago's Progressive Talk radio station, WCPT 820 AM in the heart of Chicago. With me in the studios today, my co-host Ken DeLuke.
Howdy, folks.
And John Arena.
Good morning.
So we got, again, a full program lined up for you today. Less than 10 days to go, folks. 9 days to go before our country... Either we take it back or we let the far-right lunatics take it over, because our former president, or like I call him the dear departed president, John. Okay, because I would characterize it like that. I mean, the guy is like, I don't know, man. He doesn't seem alive to me. I mean, if you look at his puffy eyes and his, selling French fries now, what else can he sell? Okay.
Yeah, there was. He wasn't selling French fries.
Yeah.
At least he didn't stick his hand in the fryer. We know he's not that stupid. I mean, but he did think about it.
How do you know? How do you know that?
How do you know that until you do it? Like looking at an eclipse, right? How do you know you're going to go blind?
Okay, guys. So here's the thing, folks. More than 1,000 faith leaders now have endorsed Harris as the vice president leans on her faith to turn out black voters. We have to pay attention, folks. And another thing that I am very concerned about is this so-called third-party candidate. At the national level, John, third parties have no chance at all. We know that. No. Everyone knows that. The last time Jill Stein ran in 2016, she ran as a spoiler to get Trump elected. Okay.
I don't know if that was her intent, but maybe you have more information.
Because
but
if you look at it, she was sitting at a dinner with Putin. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that tells me all that I need to know about her.
Oh, yeah, if anybody's...
Yeah, and there is so much, folks, out there that you need to know about Jill Stein. We'll be working on coming up with a complete expose on her before the elections. So please keep that in mind. Third party, no chance at the national level. Don't let them sway you.
It's not a protest vote. It's literally handing the election to Trump, especially in swing states where some of the stuff is really...
And I keep hearing this term that, it's a protest vote. There's no such thing as a protest vote. I mean, if you don't vote for Kamala and give her the common person's vote, Trump is going to claim that he won.
And she's already said that she backs Trump, so it's not like a revelation here.
Yep. So we got to watch out for that. We're going to be flipping the script a little bit today. Our person of the week usually is at about 9:40 that we talk about our person of the week. But today we'll be bringing in our person of the week a little bit early. Hopefully she'll be calling in, and then we'll introduce her to you. If you want to join the conversation, the number to call in is 773-763-WCPT or 763-9278. And you can also text us at this number. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back on the other side of the break with some very, very, very interesting conversation today. Stay tuned.
Your voice matters more than ever. Are you registered to vote? If not, don't wait. Download the Vote IQ app today. Vote IQ gives you all the information you need on local and national offices, plus constant updates on the political news that affects you. It's easy, it's free, and it's your key to making informed decisions. Visit the Play Store or go online to www.app.voteiq.org. Your vote is your power. Make it count. Download the app now and ensure you make an informed decision at the polls.
Did you know there's an Illinois mandate that states by 2025, ComEd has to have 25% of the energy they deliver come from a green source? Because of this, plus the fees and taxes you've already paid on this program, if you qualify, you can get solar on your home at no out-of-pocket cost. This can mean an average savings on your electric bill of maybe 30 to 50%. More importantly, it would eliminate the uncertainty of ComEd raising your rates by whoever knows how much each year. Some people have noticed a 41% increase on their bill this spring, and ComEd has been asking for another 80% increase over the next 4 years. If your average bill is $200 a month now, maybe it could be reduced to $100 a month. Now, 5 years, would you rather pay $115 or possibly $400 to $500? If you'd like to see if you can qualify for this program, call Ken DeLuke at 312-617-8979. That's 312-617-8979. Help us save the environment and change that electric bill burden. That's 312-617-8979. Take advantage of this program while it's still available.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
Okay, folks, welcome back to the Lightning Strike. And the number to call in if you want to join the conversation, 773-763-9278. Remember, less than 10 days now to go before the elections. But don't wait till November 5 to go and cast your vote. Early voting has started. Voting by mail has started. So every single day between now and the 5th of November is election day. So please keep that in mind and go out and vote. Take your family, take your friends, and let them know that if they want to know more about the candidates, they can always go to voteiq.org. You can download the app also from the App Store and get to know who is running in your neck of the woods, for which office, what their background is, everything in one place. So VoteIQ is going to be the place for you to go to, okay?
Yeah, this is a great app, folks. There's a profile button. You put in your name, your address, and it automatically will give you all the candidates in your district that you can vote for. It'll have all their information, their websites, their contact info. You can follow the candidates, any virtual events, discussion groups, and more importantly, they have a news and updates link, which will be updated every 5 minutes from over 20 different news sources. So if you're not sure who the candidates are and what they believe in, this is a great resource to help you vote in what's your own best interest.
Yeah, a lot of people are calling me, John, and they say, hey, Mohammed, who should we vote for? I'm like, man, if you go to a restaurant, you go and read the Yelp reviews before you go spend your money on some food.
Yeah.
This is going to be so critical because here's the thing,
especially
folks.
The people, down ballot.
Yeah, down ballot. The people that you elect make the policies that affect you and your children and your grandchildren. So keep that in mind, that you don't want somebody who is not going to be making policy for you, but they're making policy for the donors and the PAC people and all of that. You want to make sure that you are paying attention to who you are electing to represent you.
Especially the House races, because especially,
yes.
If we think about it, in 2020, we had the House. Nancy Pelosi was the Speaker. They get sworn in right before January 6th. Imagine if Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House and what he would have to give to the far right in
order to even certify the election.
I mean, they're disorganized and they're going to deny Kamala Harris the White House or try.
And don't forget your state races either, because with gerrymandering, there are certain districts that can never represent the people because it's been fixed. So you really need to take it very seriously on all ends.
Okay.
If you have voted and you have some time, check out Operation Swing State here in Northern Illinois. It's a great resource to look for an opportunity to go over the border and to work in the 3rd District. That's a competitive district with Rebecca Cook, the Democrat running, and Milwaukee. We can swing. It was 20,000 votes, in 2020 that got Biden in Wisconsin.
Every single vote matters, folks. This is what I've been preaching for a long time. Just to give you an example, the mayor of Glendale Heights, he got elected by 2 votes.
There you go.
Okay.
I got elected by 30 in my first election.
That was the margin.
I would talk to high school students and say a classroom of this size is what got me in.
Yep. And before we go on to a person of the week, we want to introduce our newest intern who is in the studio with us today. Jake, all yours, man. tell the listeners who you are and what you are bringing to the Lightning Strike.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here. It's so I bring my experience in radio from Indiana Public Radio, which was an NPR affiliate station, obviously in the name back in Indiana. I won. It was the Al Rent Public Media Student Employee Award for my work at that radio station, and I am just looking to continually be a contributive, important part of the station to help run and, just bring my best ideas to the show and pitch the most progressive topics to talk about and potentially, have as show topics and just be
wonderful. Thank you.
And he's got that voice that's made for radio.
Thank you, Jake, and welcome aboard. Sheila, good morning.
Good morning, guys. So welcome, Jake, to the show today. Our person of the week is doing some really exciting things in the Will County area. Her name is Joan Catton, and I'm going to let her explain something that's going to be coming up in the Will County area that's called Hope Day. This is something, Muhammad, that can give us hope because there's so much negative things going on. But Joan and a lot of people that are working with her, every month they have something important. They bring hope to the Will County community. So I'd like to welcome Joan to the Lightning Strike this morning.
Well, thank you so much.
Good morning, Joan. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing very well. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. Joan is a good friend of mine, and we also have started the Plainfield Community Alliance program in the Plainfield area. So, Joan, take it away. The mic is yours now.
Okay, thank you. The Community Hope Day is a 2-hour event on the first Saturday of each month, starting at 11 a.m. Our next event is next Saturday, November 2nd. It is for people in need in the Will County area, the economically challenged, those without a job or home, the lonely, the disabled, and or seniors who need to get out and socialize more. Hope Day provides a hot meal, clean clothing for children and adults, all sizes, toiletries, items from our micro pantry, household goods, books, toys, bingo with prizes, gift cards, and music entertainment. A lot of neat things going on. Again, the next Hope Day is Saturday, November 2nd at 11 a.m. It is located, each event, at the Plainfield Congregational Church, United Church of Christ, at 24020 Fraser Road in Plainfield, on the corner of Route 59 and Fraser Road. And for more information, please call or text me, Joan, at 815-954-5335, and pass the word on to other people in need. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joan, for joining us. Folks, here's the thing. There's a lot of good people out there doing a lot of good work, and we like to recognize a person every week for the contributions that they are making to our community. And, Joan, I cannot really emphasize the kind of work that you and the team are doing. I see that every Saturday, folks. So it's every first Saturday of the month, 2 hours from 11 to 1 at the Plainfield Congregational Church on the corner of Fraser and 59. If you need anything, feel free to show up over there. And if you need help with finding a job or something later on, you can contact Joan. And Joan, feel free to refer anyone out to me if there's anything that we can do to help. Would love to do that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Joan. And so, folks, our person of the week is Joan Catton from Plainfield. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back on the other side of the break with more conversations for you on WCPT, Chicago's Progressive Talk radio station.
Your voice matters more than ever. Are you registered to vote? If not, don't wait. Download the Vote IQ app today. Vote IQ gives you all the information you need on local and national offices, plus constant updates on the political news that affects you. It's easy, it's free, and it's your key to making informed decisions. Visit the Play Store or go online to www.app.voteiq.org. Your vote is your power. Make it count. Download the app now and ensure you make an informed decision at the polls.
Did you know there's an Illinois mandate that states by 2025, ComEd has to have 25% of the energy they deliver come from a green source? Because of this, plus the fees and taxes you've already paid on this program, if you qualify, you can get solar on your home at no out-of-pocket cost. This can mean an average savings on your electric bill of maybe 30 to 50%. More importantly, it would eliminate the uncertainty of ComEd raising your rates by whoever knows how much each year. Some people have noticed a 41% increase on their bill this spring, and ComEd has been asking for another 80% increase over the next 4 years. If your average bill is $200 a month now, maybe it could be reduced to $100 a month. Now, 5 years, would you rather pay $115 or possibly $400 to $500? If you'd like to see if you can qualify for this program, call Ken DeLuke at 312-617-8979. That's 312-617-8979. Help us save the environment and change that electric bill burden. That's 312-617-8979. Take advantage of this program while it's still available.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the Lightning Strike. And let us continue our conversation today on politics. What is happening in our country? How can we take back some control? By the way, Halloween is coming up, John. And I was thinking of dressing up as Donald Trump and just scaring my neighbors.
That's scary on all levels.
Okay.
In a McDonald's uniform?
Yeah, Donald Trump in a McDonald's uniform, dishing out fries to make-believe people that are, that have been vetted for him. And the guy had no hairnet on. He had no gloves on. He probably was sneezing all over the darn fries. And I would not want to get a fry from Donald Trump. But let's see what Michelle Obama has to say with what's happening in our country, folks.
Let me
Michelle
set this
Obama
up a little bit. I think we're down to this fundamental question. I think, and she posed it really well. Is this country ready? And we're at the precipice of potentially electing the first female president and the first black female president. So, this is one of those watershed moments, and I think she poses it well. So let's hear how she phrases it, and we'll have a discussion.
And it's clear to me that the question isn't whether Kamala is ready for this moment, because by every measure, she has demonstrated that she's ready. The real question is, as a country, are we ready for this moment?
That is the important thing, folks. Are we ready for this moment? I mean, we've been almost there with Hillary Clinton, okay? But when you compare Kamala Harris with our dearly departed president, the guy never had a job in his life. Okay, and he got kicked out of McDonald's after just one shift. Let's not forget that, okay? And here we have a career prosecutor. This woman is so far ahead, education-wise, experience-wise, from this idiot that wants to come and be our next president again. It is unbelievable. So
Think of your pocketbook. 23 Nobel Prize winning economists has called Harris's economic plan vastly superior to Trump's. With Trump, with his tariffs, basically it's a national sales tax. They're expected to add over $4,000 a year inflation, okay, and a recession in 6 months. If you don't care so much about the social aspect, think about your pocketbook because it's important.
And there's a false narrative of where the economy is now. We see that we heard week after week every Donald Trump while he was in office saying the stock market's up, the stock market's up. We don't hear that now, but except the stock market hit 43,000.
Yeah, it's the highest it's ever been.
And if you overlay in charts all the data, any data you want to use to measure, whether it's job creation, whether it's GDP
Here,
growth.
I got some of the data. It's the metrics on that. We have over 7 million more jobs since before the pandemic. The economy has added over 250,000 jobs just this past September alone, way more than expectations. The inflation rate has dropped to just over 2%. Now, prices on eggs are maybe higher than they were a few years ago, but prices never go down. The key here is how fast are they going up, and if you notice, they haven't. I noticed gas the other day, it was at like $3.29, which is amazing for this area.
I paid $2.98 at Costco, man.
Oh, there you go.
And even me
Okay.
traveling down south in Illinois, it's under $3 a gallon, and that's not Costco pricing. So
Yeah, right.
Here's the thing: I think that we want to talk about are we ready, because there's a misnomer about where the economy is, and yes, when you can look at an individual price and say somehow that's the economy. It's not. Just like the stock market is not the economy.
Right. Bottom line, wages have significantly outpaced inflation.
Yeah.
So, bottom line, you're getting more for your bang for your buck right now than you had before, and our GDP has been growing at a 3% pace. That's better than any other industrialized country in the world right now.
And taking out the pandemic drop, Biden versus the Trump years, he's above his metrics on every measure. So the question comes down to, are we ready? Because she has a plan. She can articulate things she wants to do to help people get home ownership. I listened to a clip of Trump, and I couldn't clip it because it was 2 minutes of him taking a question from a young lady named Olivia, and it was a specific question: how, as a 20-something young woman, can she afford to buy a home? He went on for 2 minutes in the word salad that the right likes to pose to
about nukes coming into Detroit.
He's going to reduce interest rates, and 35% of the price of a house is regulation. I'm like, what are you talking about? This guy can't articulate anything coherently, and I hope we got a voter out of that, because if she sat there and literally standing feet from him and watched him bumble around on a simple question, she's got to go vote Democrat.
Folks, here's the thing. Okay, remember, I have said this before, and I'll say it again. We are not here to dump on Donald Trump every single Sunday.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I didn't
John
get
says
that memo.
he wants to take a dump. You want to dump on him, or you take a dump on him? I mean, there's a difference between the two, John.
Verbally, maybe. Verbally.
Okay, but this is our country, okay? This is our future. This is the future of our children, our grandchildren. Here's another scandal that Trump does not want you to know about. And this does not involve Adolf Hitler, Jeffrey Epstein, or January 6th. This directly involves you, specifically your retirement. Okay. More than 67 million Americans now collect Social Security benefits, including roughly about 54 million retired workers. Mm-hmm. Millions more expect, or at least hope, the program will be there when they grow old, right? Most retirees that depend on Social Security income for their income, between 10 million and 16 million older Americans, would be in poverty without it. The program disproportionately helps lower-income Americans, women, and people of color. And here's the scandal. If implemented, Trump's economic proposals could bankrupt this vital, popular program within 6 years.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that, okay? First, let's take this, and this is coming in from MSNBC. So whenever we say something, folks, we look at the source, and we make sure that we are being factual about what we're talking about. Social Security funds its benefits with payroll taxes on working-age Americans. Trump just came out the other day and said, I'm thinking of eliminating income tax. Another smart idea. Yeah. Okay. Now, after a bipartisan funding deal in 1983, the program ran a surplus every year for nearly 3 decades, building up its trust fund for the retirement of the baby boomers like me. But in 2021, Social Security started to run a deficit. The Congressional Budget Office projects that the trust fund will run out before 2035.
And that was the Bush tax cuts. So there are only deficits because the revenue has dropped. This is the problem in our narrative about why this is a troubled program.
There's an easy fix for this, the donut hole.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, right now, after you make X amount of dollars, what's $125,000. And once you get above that point, then you don't pay FICA anymore. So that's fine. I like that you get a break when you put all that money in. Let's kick that back in when your income goes above $400,000, let's say. Just that one thing alone would be more than enough to cover the deficit problem that they have.
You're right, Ken. This crisis is solvable, right? Vice President Kamala Harris has proposed raising revenue by increasing taxes on Americans who make over $400,000 annually. All of Trump's friends mostly, right? Senator Bernie Sanders' Social Security Expansion Act, which Harris co-sponsored as a senator, would go even further. Income over $250,000 as well as business and investment income would become subject to the payroll tax. Currently, payroll tax is capped at $168,000. So even say Jeff Bezos pays no taxes on his income beyond that, right?
Yep. And Trump
These
paid
adjustments would
$750.
make the program solvent for decades now. Benefits could increase by about $200 a month, and just 7% of Americans would see their taxes go up.
Yeah.
So now Mr. President wants to come in with his smart plan of no income taxes.
Because tariffs.
Yeah.
So you'll pay,
Because tariffs.
You'll pay
I
your
was-
taxes when
My-
you go and buy eggs, when you go and buy anything that's imported.
My daughter
supposedly,
is looking
or
to get another car. I was just telling her this morning while we were driving up over here. I said, you better go in and get a car now. If Trump gets elected, car prices are going to shoot up by 20 to 30%.
Now, just for the people who still haven't gotten the grasp of tariffs, it's a tax on you. It's not a tax on the country. If China sells a widget for $1,000 and it goes to Best Buy, and then you decide you want to buy that widget that's $1,000, and there's a 60% tariff, that means you're paying $1,600 for that. Not China. You are.
Yeah.
Okay? Your power of money just went down significantly. So understand that a tariff is not a tax on the company or country. It's a tax on you. It's going to be passed on to you some type of way.
we have a revenue problem in this country, and she's proposing raising the on billionaires, raising that tax up to 28%, which is below what Biden's proposed, and it's way below what it had been historically.
About 35% at one time, right?
Exactly. So it's been steadily down. Now it's in the low 20s, I think, or maybe 18%. So this is where our problem comes in, is that the Republicans keep saying we're cutting taxes. They cut taxes for the top. They reduce our revenue, and then they say, see, we can't afford to provide services. And that's the false narrative that they're putting
John, here's
out
the
there.
thing. Any list of Trump's preferred proposals, anything, okay, would include mass deportations of immigrants. So if we don't have immigrants coming in,
what is the physical cost of trying to round up 20, and not the moral cost? Let's set that aside because that's incredibly high and too high. But what's the cost of trying to camp?
No idea,
20
man.
million people.
You want to hear another cost on it? Most of the illegal immigrants, as they like to call them, they, if they're working here, the employers are charging them FICA taxes.
They're paying taxes.
Guess what they will never claim? If they're not legal, there's no mechanism for them to claim those Social Security benefits. It's estimated that over $2 trillion goes into the economy because of undocumented workers who pay into something they'll never receive back from.
See, large tariffs on all imports, eliminating taxes on tips, overtime pay, and Social Security benefits. Some of these ideas are quite popular, but Harris has even come out for no tax on tips. But taken together, these ideas could be disastrous for Social Security's future. What Trump is proposing, guys, is going to bankrupt the Social Security system. Now, ending taxes on benefits, overtime pay, and tips would shrink the program's revenue streams. That is something that we have to be aware of. The massive tariffs would increase inflation, like just what we were saying, John. Therefore, the program's cost of living adjustments, COLA goes, about 3% or so roughly every year.
On average,
yeah. So what do you think? They're going to get a 20% cost of living adjustment on Social Security benefits? And who's going to pay for that? Where's that money going to come
there
from?
There won't be revenue for that.
Yeah, mass deportation of immigrants, Ken, like you're saying, would remove millions of immigrant wage earners who contribute to Social Security, right? Even many undocumented immigrants pay payroll taxes. That's what you were saying just now.
Right. Hey, if anybody has an opinion on this, give us a call, 773-763-9278.
That is the number to call in, folks. You can also text us, and after the show, you can go to our website, tlschicago.com. We'll post the show over there every week. By about Wednesday, you'll have the show posted over there. You can also go to YouTube. Our channel is at TLS Chicago on YouTube. The program is coming live to you on Facebook, and you can go back on Facebook and watch the program, listen to it, and go to our website, send us your comments and any suggestions that you have. You can also listen to us live on the heartlandsignal.com website worldwide, and we are getting calls from people from California, from Florida.
Bring it up.
It is all over the world. People are watching and listening to us at this point. And if you have anything that you want to share, do let us know. So here's the thing, folks. Again, we have got 9 days to go now before November 5. But election is every single day coming up to November 5. And we don't know whether we'll have any results on the 5th of November, because these guys are going to squeal like they're
already
stuck.
filing lawsuits. It's it's their playbook. Clearly, that they want to create a narrative that our elections are rigged or not fair. We know they are. The documentation is there. The question goes back to what Michelle Obama posed: is, are we ready for a female president? Can we get over? This country is deeply misogynistic in its approach, but we have seen women succeed at every level, whether it's personal, business, in government. Gender doesn't matter. It matters.
And John,
what's your
even
moral
the
stand and what's your policies.
Even the so-called third world countries have had female presidents, prime ministers.
First world countries. I mean, Germany was run by Angela Merkel for over a decade.
Yep.
And Germany's one of the most prosperous countries in the world.
India had Indira Gandhi, and Bangladesh had Sheikh Hasina, and Pakistan had Benazir Bhutto. I mean, folks, here's the thing, man. Females rule the world. Let's get that one thing clear, okay?
Mexico elected their first female president.
Yeah, I've been happily married, John, for 6 years now. Okay, out of 41. It took me 35 years
to come
to the conclusion that in order to have a happy married life, all you need to do is just, ma'am, you're right. Okay, so on that note, let's see what Earl has to say.
That's one way to approach relationships. We're going into the relationship management portion of the show now.
Okay. So, Earl, thank you for listening. Thank you for calling in, Earl. So, the immigrants are doing jobs that no one else wants to do. Come on, Earl. I know somebody over here who's sitting in the studio with us.
You did not hear me say anything, now did you? You didn't hear what I said.
Let's hear it. Don't put words in his mouth.
You have... Now, listen, what I was saying was we have gone through the immigration process before. We have stopped this before under another Republican president, where food died on the vines because immigrants came in and were picking the fruit. The farmers had to plow it back in to the ground because we didn't have the laborers to pick the food. This is something that has already happened to us in our nation. We know what happens when we don't let them in.
And that's going to increase inflation too.
Because
if you have supply that's not there, guess what happens to the prices of those commodities? They go up.
That's right. So I mean, I was not saying don't let them in. I'm saying we need them because they're the foundation of our food industry. They're the foundation of our meat packing industry. Immigrants do a lot of work that is fundamental to our society, that keeps our society working.
Well, Earl, thank you so much for calling. Thank you so much for your comments.
And this is backbreaking work. Like, we have a meat processing, a chicken processing facility here in the 45th Ward on the northwest side.
You do?
We do.
John?
And I've been in that place, and
I thought you owned it. And said
I don't own it. I said we. Okay. I was the alderman here, but it employs 600 people.
There you go.
And there a lot of folks who work there are low income. They're making minimum wage, but they're making minimum wage, and in Chicago, that's now over $15 an hour.
Well,
these are people that are spending every dollar they make and putting it back into our economy. We need to pay them. They need to have worker safeties. They need to have worker rights. And we need to his point, the last president to reform our immigration system was Ronald Reagan, and he allowed 12 million undocumented workers to become citizens. They gave amnesty. They had a path to citizenship over 5 to 7 years. And look, the country is still running. So we can do this, and we can address the real problem with immigration, which isn't the border. We have a closed border. We have a controlled border. There are people that are going to come in and walk around the gate. That's not the problem. The problem is there isn't enough bandwidth to process people coming into this country to do the work that needs to be done.
And if they would have passed that immigration bill, we would have had the bandwidth for that. And this is important, too, because our unemployment rate is the lowest it's been in 50 years. That's a problem, because that means that we are not having enough labor to have our economy grow to where it should be growing. We actually do need immigrants and people filling those jobs.
And here's the thing, Trump keeps on saying this nonsense that other countries are just dumping, quote unquote, his words, garbage into us. They are emptying their prisons.
He has asylum, and he has no ability to understand.
Mr. Trump, if you talk about garbage man, I don't want to get personal, but your wife was an immigrant.
2 of them.
So 2 of them, right?
J.D. Vance's wife is
okay. And so I don't know where you come off from. When you get up at night and you have these nightmares about immigrants, I think you should take a look as to who's next to you. But I'm told that you don't sleep in the same room, so I guess that doesn't apply to you.
Back to the relationship.
We got Dave from Hoffman Estates calling in. Dave, good morning. Thank you for listening, man. And what do you have to say about women representation, Dave?
Yes, you fellas missed out. Finland had a woman prime minister in Sanna Marin, and her cabinet pretty much was all women at the time. And also, there was a point before Sanna Marin, maybe closer to 20 years or so, where they had both a woman who was prime minister and a woman who was the president. That's the way there.
I think. Dave, I think we are more than ready for a female president, especially one who is so qualified. Okay, she may not have the best laugh in the industry, but
I like her laugh.
We are not trying to get somebody to run a circus. Like the clown. If you put, I've seen these memes of clown makeup on Trump.
You really don't have to add much to it.
Hey, John, what's our 3 favorite words?
Compared to what?
Compared to what?
Okay.
I mean, would you want somebody who's competent, who's got a track record, who knows what she's doing and has proven it? No. Or do you want somebody who drinks bleach to get rid of COVID?
No.
Trump, this is the same guy that he lost out on casino.
How do you bankrupt 2 casinos?
Every single business that he touched has gone down, okay? Every single thing, from Trump University to the Trump sneakers to the Trump vodka to the Trump ties and that he's getting, and everything, by the way, he gets made in China. So let's not forget that.
It's the mob mentality of business management. You suck everything out of the business and leave the rest.
Watching Bill Maher last night, and Van Jones said that Trump got this Article 47.
Okay.
You might want to look up on that stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty much in line with Project 2025 as well.
Yep, and
some of the stuff with the military. Anyway, I was going to tell us.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Well, let's listen to what Trump has to say. If you can play the second clip, let's see what this guy is up to. And these are his words, folks. We are not making things up. We are actually playing what this guy has been saying.
One rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately.
And he's talking about there is crime.
Yep.
So we're coming up on, we're now past the 10 years since Laquan McDonald was shot 16 times by a police officer. Now, this is one example of police brutality in this country that really has only become documented since body-worn cameras have become the norm, and now we're seeing the actual evidence of this. This was while I was in office. This happened 2014, 2015. There was an election. This was covered up, and we saw this video, and I got to see this video, in private settings with the lawyers from the city, and it was a heart-stopping moment to watch that. If you have the stomach to watch, you can see these videos online. But the point is, we know that there are police that believe, like the person who did this to Laquan McDonald, that unfettered police powers are what we need to somehow control. Like, that oppression is the way we do this, and that's what he's talking about. The idea that a president would suggest that, and he's said he's going to pardon people who have committed crimes against federal crimes on January 6th. What he's telegraphing is that if you are one of these police officers, and I think it's the vast minority that believe that we are going to give you a pass. We're going to say, go do this, and then we will pardon you, because the justice system won't allow it, but he will allow it as president. Yep. And that is incredibly dangerous message to be sending.
He keeps on coming up with this message continuously now, folks, that there is an enemy within.
Yes.
I mean, what the heck, man? Get some spine, and if you have something to say, go up to somebody and say, hey, you are the enemy within. Now, he will not say that. He'll just say, oh, the enemy within.
But here's the thing. So, like, we talk about Laquan McDonald, a young black man, and this is what we tend to think about what police brutality looks like. What he's giving permission by saying, we're going to go after liberals. We're going to go after people who don't think like me, who don't worship me like the cult does.
Yep.
Then this is where, if you're white in America, but you have even a center-left position, you are the enemy within he's talking about.
Well, he's talking about you, John, and Ken. I'm getting out of here, man. Okay.
This guy has no compassion, zero empathy. I mean, think back to the Central Park Five. He put out a full-page ad in the New York Times saying that they should be executed. And then he's not even backing down even after they've been exonerated.
Well, let's take a call in from Amin calling in. Amin, good morning. You're on the Lightning Strike. Thank you so much for listening and calling in. What do you have on your mind, my friend?
Peace be with you. Regarding whether America is ready for a woman president, America is behind in a lot of things, even though it claims to be the leader. But one thing Muhammad said, and this is something America should understand, that Muhammad was not the enemy, when he said that paradise lies at the feet of the mother. That's a thought people should think about. Paradise lies at the feet of the mother. Well, that's all I want to say.
Thank you so much for pointing that out. Yep, we won't be here without a mother, man. And if your mother had abandoned you, maybe Trump's mother had abandoned him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, something happened in the childhood that we are not aware of. I saw just that my friend Professor John Claris had called in, and then he blanked out of here. John, if you're listening in, thank you so much for listening, and feel free to call in. We still have a few minutes before the show ends. The number to call in, folks, if you want to join us, 773-763-9278. We'll take a quick break and be back with you on the other side of the break. This is the Lightning Strike. I'm your host, Mohammed Fahim. With me in the studios today, Ken DeLuke, John Arena, and our Jake over here, our newest intern joining the team.
Hey, Jude, I got your Zoom request. What's up?
Hi, Ken. Well, I know that you're into politics, and after watching the news last night, I'm interested in getting more involved myself.
Great. How can I help?
Well, I have some ideas on the candidates, but no clue on most of the other candidates I might find on the ballot. Can you help me get information on that?
Hey, better than that, I can give you a website that'll do a way better job than me. VoteIQ.org. Personally, this is the best resource for voting I've ever seen. You hit the profile button, you enter your name and address, it will automatically know what district you're in. So when you hit the Meet the Candidates link, it will show you everyone that will be on your ballot, including their phone number, address, email, and website. There's also links for virtual events, meetings, Q&As. They have discussion groups if you want to connect with like-minded voters. It has a fantastic news link that continuously updates, and by continuously, I mean all the time. It's like, minute by minute almost, with digital, video, and live TV. And if you haven't registered to vote, there's a voting hub which will give you everything you need, including where to register, finding your polling locations, using absentee ballots, and we'll even show you what's on your ballot. There's also a spot for surveys and polls. Plus, there's a lot of other features. The best part, it's free. Do you have a pen?
It's awesome. Thank you for that information. Yes.
Okay, again, the website is voteiq.org, or you can even download the app on your smartphone from your app store.
Awesome. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate it.
Yeah, let me know what you think about that.
I will.
Take care. Bye.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
Okay, folks, welcome back to the Lightning Strike. Our co-host, Congresswoman Marie Newman, is not in the studio today. Marie is hosting a fundraiser for Congressman Ro Khanna, who is from California, the 17th district in California, if I'm not mistaken. So there is a fundraiser for today for Congressman Ro Khanna, a very progressive member of the House. He has had the spine now to stand up against AIPAC and the kind of people that are trying to buy our Congress. I was told recently that about 80 to 85% of our legislators in both houses are being bought and paid for by these PACs. And Ro Khanna has really stood up to them. So, folks, if you get a chance, please go and check out Ro Khanna, make a small contribution to his campaign. He is somebody that we need to keep in Congress for a long time. We got Howard calling in. And Howard, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for listening to the show. I'm kind of a little bit on the slow side today, John, because I was at a party last night. I went to bed at 3 o'clock.
Oh, geez. That's not a lot of sleep.
So 2 hours of sleep, but here I am, rain or shine. Howard, good morning. Thank you so much for listening.
Good morning. I'm calling about wasting votes out of protest or voting for third-party candidates because you don't like one aspect of one candidate's.
Howard, we started off on that. We started off on that note. So this concept of a protest vote is nonsense. Okay.
I put it as an example. Suppose someone is starving to death, and you've got a choice of either starving to death or being offered the possibility of a stinky cheese sandwich with some wilted lettuce, or to have a sandwich that's filled with dog feces and ground glass. Which one do you?
Well, if
that's a very graphic description.
The second one obviously has also got a red wrapper on it. Okay, so let's not forget
that. Representing.
Okay.
About applies to Michigan.
Yep.
Where there are some people who aren't in love with Harris's Middle East policy, but it's still a lot better for them than Trump's Middle East policy.
Hey, Howard, I'm glad you said that. Now, this is important. That's perfect. That's a good lead-in for what I was about to say here. 53% of the Arab community there supports Trump. That is ridiculous. The three words compared to what? So, yeah, you don't like what's going on in Gaza? To be honest with you, what we're doing there currently with the current administration is the best shot we have of changing things in Gaza. Yeah. You can't just turn off the spigot cold turkey, because that'll embolden the players, that aren't playing in the good side of the aisle to go against Israel, and that's going to escalate the war. But yet at the same time, you can't keep supporting Yahoo, who is trying to stay out of jail, basically. But for the Arab community that thinks that they're going to support Trump, Now, this is a guy who says you come from S-hole countries. This is the guy who wouldn't hesitate to put an Arab ban and everything else. Compared to what? Do not go down that rabbit hole because Trump isn't going to help you.
And look at what he said about this conflict. He has said, let the kids play it out on the schoolyard. We've played a clip of this, I think, in the past, where he's talking about letting an unfair, an unfair fight go on a year later after the impetus. So it's not about saying Israel's wrong or Hamas is right. It's about, at this point, Trump will let the bully take over the playground. And at some point, we as a country have to say, what's the moral stand? Whatever the Biden-Harris position is, and I don't agree with with a lot of what they've done in this field, the question is, where do you have a partner to negotiate that has a moral stand that sees both sides as human? And Trump does not. So it's baffling to me that statistic is what.
Well, here's the thing again, John. I mean, coming from a Muslim background, I can feel the angst of the people over there in Michigan. Okay. But talking to a lot of them, when I tell them that, hey, Jill Stein is not the answer for what you are looking for, and Trump is going to be the worst thing that can happen to the Arab American Muslim community in America. Yeah, keep that in mind, folks.
She can't govern. That's the
Howard, thank you so much for calling in. Amin, thank you so much for calling in. Folks, it is not a question of the lesser of the two evils. Okay? That is what I keep on hearing. Oh, it's the lesser of the two evils. No, it's not. Okay. International politics does not work like that. If that was the case, then there would be no war anywhere, and we will not be supporting it. Let's not forget that the military-industrial complex is at the bottom of all of these wars. At one time or the other, we have a war going on in some part of the world.
Yeah.
And somebody is buying those bullets, somebody is, supplying those armaments, someone is making money. And if you look at it, it is across the board. It could be Republicans, it could be Democrats. If you look at people who are investing in this armament manufacturing, that's where the thing is. It's not policy, it is not religion. It is purely business for these people.
And who will he? He wants to put Elon Musk in, and the conflict of interest with Elon Musk having the $1 billion of contracts he has with our space program, and he's having conversations with Putin. Trump is having conversations with Putin. Putin still has nuclear weapons pointed at this country.
Yep.
Think about that who is he going to side with in the negotiations? He's okay with dictators running the table. He praises Xing in China as being strong and smart and beautiful and whatever these adjectives he uses. These are enemies of our country, and I don't think China's an enemy of our country directly like Putin is.
An adversary.
They're adversary economically, and we have had good economic relations with China. This has been manifested by Trump when he went out and started a tariff war that killed our farmers. There's him talking about back then where we had to give $15 billion of subsidies to our farmers in that time because his tariffs, China said, fine, we're not going to buy corn from you and soybeans. We're going to buy it from other countries. He killed the market. Now we're selling in other countries. So you can't just go back and put the genie back in the bottle when you start these trade wars.
And that is the bottom line, folks. We got about a minute and a half to go before we close out the show for today. Thank you so much for listening to us. And remember that we are here every Sunday morning from 9 to 10, rain or shine, okay? You can catch us on our website, tlschicago.com, or on YouTube at TLS Chicago. That is what you need to look for. And keep in touch with us. This is the only way that we can take our country back. And don't wait till November 5 to go out and vote, folks. Voting has started. Early voting has started. Every single day is election day till November 5.
Speaking of voting, I went for the first time. I had to spend an hour and a half in line. I early voted on Monday. But that was, I've never had to wait that long before. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen.
Ken, I voted in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all it took me at the Village Hall, for early voting. So, folks, plenty of choices out there. And if you cannot make it, we still have time to call in for a mail-in ballot. Just go online and get your mail-in ballot. Do whatever it takes. Take your family and friends. Thank you so much for listening.
Check out voteiq.org. Voteiq.org.
That is the thought that we want to leave you on. We'll be back again next week.
The preceding program, The Lightning Strike, was sponsored by Mohammed Fahim, and to the extent applicable, their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of Heartland Signal, LLC, or its management.